Hello, and thank you for joining me tonight. I go by Lune Innate, and this video is casual. We're going to be discussing some things related to seasonal depression in a sense, and essentially how I work through the cooler months for me here in the States. It's November. It's going to go really quickly into winter, and winter is great. It's a lot easier for me, and I think most of us like the winter before the holidays or leading up to the holidays. I mean, I have a 5-year-old, so it's really easy for me to enjoy getting him presents, setting up the tree, making cookies. Like, we're not religious, but we do like the Christmas thing for the most part. And he's like a Jewish family as well, so we're kind of going between stuff. But for the most part, we just kind of do like the Santa stuff, I guess you could say. And I used to struggle very much with the last half of winter, or the part beyond the holidays. Typically by mid-January, I start to get a little, oh, we got a long way ahead of us, don't we? Like that kind of thing. So I think that a lot of people do, struggle with that. And I've certainly talked about it in other videos, but I wanted to have a nice casual chat with you guys and again do some triggers and share with you how I work through that. The first thing I just want to mention is something I've said in other videos, so I'd like to get it out of the way. But basically, I see the seasons now as something that each serve its own purpose. So for fall, I see that as a time for learning, for self-discovery, transformation, things like that. With winter, I see that as more of the transformation, more of the inner shifting, and just like really going within, kind of closing yourself off a little bit. I don't mean, not leaving your room for the entire winter, but just like being within and working on things in that sense. And then in the spring, we kind of emerge as this new person. We've kind of educated ourselves in some way. Can't talk tonight. Educated ourselves in some way, or had some kind of growth in our own person, and now we're emerging in spring as this new version of ourselves. Different skill, maybe different perspective, things like that. And in the summer, I feel like we're really living that person, that facet, that version, that time of our lives, of ourselves. And then we, learn again more in the fall, transform in the winter, and etc. And it goes on. Now, of course, you're learning all the time, so I'm not specifically saying like you only do one of those things in one of those seasons, but looking at it that way helps me to gain some perspective. To take that a little deeper, and you might have known this already from watching my channel if you watch more regularly, but I like to work with the energy of the universe, what's going on a more astrological sort of way of looking at things. And you don't have to be an expert in astrology to get the basics. And for me, the very basic is, in terms of like what's going on right now, is seeing what sign the sun is in. So currently, while I'm filming this, we are in Scorpio season. Scorpio is all about transformation. I'm going to give you like the very gist of things, but Scorpio is about transformation. And we're going to be moving into Sagittarius time, and that's about truth. So you might see in Scorpio season that there's a lot of death, as scary as that sounds. Many people that I know have lost someone, or, know someone who has passed on. My aunt passed on recently, or one of my aunts passed on, and other people. So you'll see like a shift of that type of stuff going on. And I know that is kind of a dark place to take it, but it's just like the darkest example. There's also shifts in many other ways that we transform, but it's mostly about that. It's about self-reflection, kind of seeing the darker parts of ourselves so that we can bring them into the light and transform them. And, you can get pretty in depth on that if you want to research more on Scorpio or Scorpio season. It would be good too. I think it's kind of typical for people to only look at their own sign. I think I did that a lot, certainly in the earlier part of my life. Only read about, Cancerian things, but now I understand that I am part of a wheel. And whether I'm, a sun sign Cancer or my moon is, in Aries or whatever, I kind of am still on this wheel, and the energy of these unique zodiac signs and the times which they're in our sky play a part in a way, or rather when the sun is in the sign of one of these zodiacs. After Scorpio season, we'll be in Sagittarius time, and Sagittarius is about truth and finding the truth for you. So this might be things that you've learned, this transformation, these ideas too that come from transformation or that seem to bubble to the surface very much so during Scorpio season. You'll start to kind of find what's right for you, maybe cross out some things, maybe add some things, but basically find the truth for you in Sagittarius time. And it's about fun as well. Capricorn comes next, and that is all about work. like climbing a mountain, setting your sights on something, really putting yourself into and immersing in a project or your work or your business or your family or whatever it is, but something that you're focused on. And it seems like you have this almost selfless and limitless energy to kind of like carry something through. Make sure you get really cozy. It's cozy time, Bamba. Bamba, sit down. Good boy. Can you sit? Can you sit, please? When we enter Aquarius time, that is typically more very humanitarian based. So you might find yourself seeing how you can incorporate others into these plans or being supportive of a group in some way. Sorry, Bamba's just like crazy man tonight. Bamba, stop. Here. Good boy. Good boy. It's innovative. It's very visionary as well. So you might expand on these projects that you might have been working on through Capricorn time as well. Or it might be where people are being drawn to the projects and you're like serving others through your work. After Aquarius comes Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac on the wheel, and that is very much related to spirituality, mystical stuff, your connection to spirit and your understanding of yourself. And it goes back into like a more lazy time again as well. So not lazy, but Pisces has like a lazy energy a little bit. So if you're taking all of this in, it can be helpful to understand that this is the energy that's going to be available for you to tap into, to work with it on the upside of it and not the downside. There's an upside and a downside to every sign, everything. You can find a good and a bad in everything. So try to use that energy to focus on something that you can tie yourself to like carry yourself up instead of letting the more uncomfortable or negative sides like bring you down or like get caught in that downward side of it. Alright, so I have this blankie to show you to speak about cozy time. My Reiki teacher, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, posted something you've probably seen on Instagram because I have seen it since, but it's like a Dutch word, and I will butcher it if I try to say it. There's no way I'll get it right. But it's in an American language, American English, it would translate best to, I guess, cozy time is how I would think of it. And when you can look at winter or those cooler months that you're kind of trapped a little indoors or whatever as cozy time, I mean, that really changed the game for me. I'm good with cozy. Me and cozy are cool. So make sure you have a really nice, it's so simple, but like treat yourself to a new blankie. Make sure you have nice cozy slippers. Make sure your fridge and pantry are stocked with like comfort food. This is one of my favorite kind of blankets. It's like those, I guess it's like, it's not fleece, but like I call it teddy bear skin. Because that's what it reminds me of. It's like super soft. I would bring it out more, but Bomba's laying on it right now. And this actually serves two purposes. It's super cozy, but I like to use this for meditation as well. I know it's like you really don't need a special blanket to meditate, but I like it. And my partner will crack up when he walks in and sees me with it, because I'll literally just like drape it over myself and be lying down like a mummy. And sometimes I'll have like crystals on my head and stuff, and I'll just like really cocoon myself inside this blanket that's so soft and dark, and it really helps me to meditate. So soft and cozy. I love it. Other cozy things, like I mentioned, food, but it's nice to think about, for me anyway, the preparation of food in the winter and fall. In the summer, there's just such an abundance of fresh fruit, and you can grill things like grilled asparagus, or just it's like a vibe to the food, right? Like, I don't know, like you can eat the same thing no matter what, I guess, but the fresh fruits and things of that nature, or you find it less or harder to find. So in the winter, I find that I have to plan things more. Like I might need to soak the lentils for overnight, or like beans or something, or overnight oats. Like that's not really something I eat in the summer. I'll most likely make like a smoothie or something, or a fruit bowl. But I really love like overnight oats and like yummy coffees with like treat coffees, which have like maple syrup or some cacao or something that's healthy and nourishing, because you really want to be careful in the winter what you're doing to your body. I'm not the most active person. I will be the first to admit it. And I certainly have a sweet tooth. And, it's not like I don't eat processed food like ever. I had pizza today, But in the winter, you just want to be careful, because it's very easy to fall into that like convenient food, like processed food kind of zone, or things that are just unhealthy all the time. So when you have this mindset of preparing things that are very nutrient dense, it'll just carry you through the winter better. You won't feel as bad in your body, so it'll carry over. Another thing is certainly like physical activity during the winter. It's so easy to, not do something, especially if you're, like you don't have a gym at home, or you don't have a gym membership, and like that's your typical kind of thing, I guess, or whatever. But do what you can. I have a great resource. I've mentioned her before, but the Body Astrologer, she's awesome. And I'm so in love with all the work that she does. I'm really trying to get her on YouTube. I think I've made it like fairly convincing that she should, because she's great and she has amazing information. She puts a lot of work into all this stuff already. So cross your fingers for me. But you can find her on Instagram. She has a website. I'll put the link below. I found her on Instagram, I don't know, maybe a year ago. I'm not 100% sure. But she does, she's a personal trainer. She's an acupuncture practitioner. Or Chinese medicine. She does a whole lot of stuff. She has a lot of knowledge. And she works very thoroughly with not only the physical body, but in relation to astrology. And it's just amazing. Like, I've never seen anyone do what she does, and I just can't suggest her enough. So, check that out. It's really helpful for me because, like, if I know something's working on an astrological level as well, or it makes sense to me, it's like a lot easier for me to understand. Okay, the moon is waning, or the moon is new. That's why I don't have a lot of energy right now. So, let me like just take that day off and I'll plan for like the next day or something like that. That's like the very tip of the iceberg for like how you could look at it. But I would suggest that because it's really interesting and it keeps me going. This kind of leads into my next topic, which is about self-improvement. We are meant to improve in some way in the winter. We are. I firmly believe that. It starts in the fall with lessons, and if we're not, it's hard to say. I can't commit one way or the other, but from what I find, if I'm making my own growth, if I'm following my gut, if I'm looking into things that I feel inspired to, or kind of like come up as signs, or anything, I find then life does not have to teach me these lessons. I can teach myself the lessons. Of course, things come up, it's not like it's going to keep your life perfect, but I find that I feel a little more in control when I'm improving myself on my own accord, with my own energy, and it's not having to happen to me necessarily. So I love reading, but these like little meaty books. And two of these are from my favorite authors, so I wanted to show them to you. And this one, it is like a full-size book. It's, I think, like 150 pages or something, but I wanted to show you guys this as well. This is another person I found on Instagram. She's also a Reiki practitioner. She's makes these like awesome like tinctures. I actually bought one recently and I've been taking it for like 3 days and it works. I'm feeling it. But this is her book. I bought it recently and I just love it. I finished it in a day because it's super interesting. But this is about astrology and the human experience. Her name is, I'm going to butcher her last name. I feel so bad. So her name is Ines. Let me try to focus it. Am I close? I'm going the wrong way. Bro, you got this. There we go. So this is her name. She goes by Ines Heals. And let's see if I can get myself back in focus. I usually can tell by my hair. Okay, I think that's good enough. But she's just awesome. She's got a beautiful Instagram account. Like, whenever I see people with beautiful Instagrams, I'm just like, get it. It's just so nice and just has like a nice thing. I can never do that. I feel like mine's all over the place. But this book would be great for someone who's just getting into astrology. Like, it's helpful to have some information, I guess, but I don't want to say just getting into astrology. That's kind of cheap way to do it. It would help to have some information. But basically, this book talks about understanding the cosmos, the zodiac wheel, and then goes through all of the signs to give you an idea of like how you can work with the energy of them, or just, well, I guess it details more of the energy of each of them and like what they're all about. That way you can like learn yourself how to work with the energy of them. And it's just great. Like, it's really good. And it's a nice little meaty book with a lot of really good information. So why I'm bringing these books out is this is how I like to improve myself. Not only through this is easy. This is something I can gain access to easily. I've got a bookshelf full of books, lots of ones I haven't read yet. So that's simple. It's more of, for me, something that makes me think. something that speaks to me at a time when I need it. And for whatever reason, like I couldn't predict it. I feel like I could just pick a book off the bookshelf, read a little bit of it, and it will make me think and how it applies to my life, and I'll gain some perspective. And I'm definitely going through that heavily right now for this Scorpio season. I am in a major shift going on within me. If you don't know where to start, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, like try looking into Zodiac, try looking at or astrology, numerology, palmistry, handwriting analysis, body language. There's so many things. Sacred geometry, really, science, more occult things, occult teachings, Hermeticism, Rosicrucian stuff, ancient kemet. There's alchemy. There's so much that you can look into that will inspire you. I don't read fiction books. I have certainly read them in my life. It's not like I'll never read them again, but I do not read fiction books because they don't speak to me the same way. This speaks to me and makes me feel something that I can apply to myself. And I'm not saying a fiction book cannot do that, but this is what works for me. So that's what I have to show you. One of my favorite authors is Manley P Ho. Now he has books that are like gigantic, and then he has some like little dudes like this, and I just love these little books. I just love them. I don't know what it is. They're always so informative, and they're just like easy to approach as well, easy to bring with you. I commute a lot, so a light book that's very deep and makes me think a lot are my favorite kinds. If you guys have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. And if you're into occult stuff or anything like that, Manley P Ho is really good. This one is called Past Lives and Present Problems: How to Prepare for a Fortunate Rebirth. Most persons today who are thoughtful, who have studied, who have tried to improve themselves with increasing knowledge and reflection, have attained the materials from which progress can be made. They have a better knowledge than those who have not made this effort. They are more aware of the contributions of all the great philosophies and religions of the world. They are no longer bound by some creedal limitation that prevents them from estimating the true state of human existence. These individuals have gradually built up a certain degree of insight, and the problem then becomes to transform insight into merit. So I'll read you a little about Manley P Ho, the OG. Manley P Ho founded the Philosophical Research Society Incorporated, a non-profit organization in 1934 dedicated to the dissemination of useful knowledge in the fields of philosophy, comparative religion, and psychology. In his long career spanning more than 70 years of dynamic public activity, Mr. Ho delivered over 8,000 lectures in the United States and abroad, authored over 150 books and essays, and wrote countless magazine articles. So this guy truly is a wealth of knowledge, and if you're into any of this, I highly suggest him. Most of you probably know about him already. Now, my other favorite author is William Walker Atkinson. He also has, full-size books, but he has some of these little books too. He goes by pen names a lot. So another one of them is like Swami Panchadesi, something like that. But he has like these cute little books. And I got these at Namaste Bookshop near, or in Union Square near 5th, if you're in the area, or if you ever come to New York. This one's called Practical Psychomancy and Crystal Gazing. He's got great ones on the aura, the astral plane, mentalism, creating the world you want through your mind. And I'm like all about that. It's very hermetic, it's very empowering, and it's also very responsible. Like, it puts the responsibility back on you and encourages you to strengthen your own skills, as does Manley P Ho, so I appreciate that a lot. And this book is one of so many that I have from this guy. So yeah, I love little books. I freaking love them. They're just like, you can put them in your purse. And these books have so much wealth of knowledge and information in them. And again, they just make me think. There's something that really makes me think, and that's why I like them. If cooking makes you think, if reading about athletes makes you think, if biographies make you think, if, whatever you're interested in. I'm not trying to tell you, like, this is what you need to read unless you're into this, but other ways you can do self-improvement is like learn a new skill of some kind. If you're like me, that might be something like tarot. It might be crystal gazing. It might be just meditation and strengthening that ability. So, go with what feels right to you. Additionally, you can learn something that you can make money off of later, like learn how to Photoshop well, or edit videos, or start a YouTube channel, or do something that will be in like a year or two, something that pays off for you and gives you a platform to speak your voice to many people. It gives you that platform right away, but it grows, so don't give up, and give it a year or two before you decide. I've seen people do amazing on YouTube like right away, and that's amazing. Like, God bless, But for those of us who it takes a little longer, give it the time. Like, that's a good thing to have, for whatever you decide to use it for. So right now is a great time for inner reflection, and reading can certainly help with that. Reading, I'm just such a big fan of reading. I find so much comfort and personal attention and love through reading something that is just for me. It's like something I'm doing good for my brain, or working my brain or something. So that's something that I love. If you're not into reading, watch videos, find something that lifts you up, that serves a purpose to you. YouTube can be such a great source for learning so many different skills as well. So if you don't have the funds or the availability in your area to take a class, you might find what you need on YouTube. A lot of people do. That said, specifically the Capricorn time, which is late December into January, or mid to late December into January, is that time of having this energy to carry it out. So like the Capricorn is this goat, and the goat just climbs this mountain. It just like climbs it. And once it gets to the top of that mountain, it sees another mountain. It's like, there I go. And it gets down, goes up that mountain. So use that energy during that time to get a project done, get it started, and really put a lot of work into it, no matter what it is. Even if it's something that you're gonna see more of the benefits reaped, later in the year, it's a great time to harness that energy. Capricorn is a very successful sign, so work with that. So one of the last things to share with you is about the need for us to express. Again, the winter can be a bit isolating, can make us feel more closed off from the rest of the world. I mean, we're still going to work, we're still interacting, but it's certainly more of a time, almost like an incubation time to work on ourselves, and rightfully so. That's the purpose. That's how I see the purpose of winter. To kind of let the old stuff die, bring in the, make room for the new and all of that. So working with expression is very important, because that needs to be, it's still there, it still needs to come out. So drawing, being creative, writing, journaling, it doesn't have to be shared with people. It doesn't have to be something you're like, oh, look at me and hear me and all this stuff, but it needs to come out. It needs to come out of you. So do what you can to be creative. That could be in so many ways, so personal to you, whether that be cooking, decorating, planning in some kind of design way, but do something that is creative so that it's expressing. And journaling is a great way for that as well, as is writing stories or something else too. Something that actually Miss Synchronicity inspired me is, I had this sitting on my altar. She sent me this postcard, but I thought that postcards would be such a great thing to send out in the winter, to kind of like send out something that like you don't have to reply to, but like as a way of expression, or just like, I don't know, like sending out this line of like, I'm still here and I'm thinking about you, and something kind. So this is so pretty. I don't know, I really love this card. I'm gonna keep it forever. She wrote such beautiful things. She's a doll, like, and I mean that in the most like highest regard. Like, she's a sweet, genuine, reflective, deep person, and you guys already love her, so I don't have to sell you on her, but she's totally that in person too, if you were ever had a doubt, which I doubt you did. But she sent this when she was in Japan. And I'm gonna have to send some postcards this winter. This might be good for that Aquarius time, to kind of have that sense of community and friendship going on a little. I guess another thing to just mention lastly is to remember to be kind to yourself, to allow yourself to be soothed when you can, to do things that are kind and gentle and slow. We slow down in the winter for a reason, and I feel like it can be very frustrating. Similar to when a woman is on her moon time, how we should slow down, we should take it easy. And we kind of get frustrated because it's like, yeah, but life is here. I still have to do stuff. The winter is a time for just going within and enjoying it, not making it a fight, not making it something that needs to be gotten through. It's an enjoyable process if you just let it be for you. Oh, I should mention, I got these awesome earrings at Happiness Boutique, and I just love them. You guys have seen me wear lots of earrings from them, or earrings from them very often. Those silver hoops with the line, like a minimal look that they have. I wear those almost all the time. You've seen them in tons of videos, and if you follow me on Instagram, that would be a good place to connect, because I do update my story from time to time. I mean, admittedly, it's mostly Bamba, but sometimes I have some things that I like to talk about if you're open to, Instagram stories. But anyway, they reached out to me and offered to send me 2 free pairs of earrings, and I freaking love earrings, and a necklace, and I picked out this like really pretty choker. I'll wear it soon. And yeah, so if you guys like stuff like this, they have lots of other stuff too. These are called the flag earrings, I want to say, and they're so cool, right? And I think that but if you check in the description, I'll have like a discount code for you and some more information on happiness. I really love them. I get offered lots of stuff all the time, guys. I mean, like, I'm a YouTuber. We get offered tons of stuff, and this is not paid, but I genuinely really like this company, and I'm very happy to, work with them in that way. Like, I love earrings, so yes, please. I hope that you enjoyed this video and you found it relaxing and maybe bored you to sleep a little. I don't have that much more to say, I guess, on the winter months, but if you guys have any ideas on what you like to do to get through the months, the more isolating months, or the ones that can, be a little depressing to some people, myself included, but I'd say for the last 3 years, I've really just, taken the higher path, like the upswing of winter, and just embraced it for what it is, and that has helped me tremendously. So I hope you can take something from that. Thank you so much for your love and support. I'm so very grateful. It's wonderful, and I'm just truly honored. I feel so much better, guys. Like, I was so sick. I was so sick. But I feel lots better. So thank you guys so much for your patience on my videos and stuff. It's really hard to communicate when like your head is like all messed up and all of that. It's really tricky for me. So I needed that time to give myself. So I appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, as always, namaste.